we've got some big news. Ah, hold on.
That's not it.
Okay, we've got some big news. And the big news is
we're getting solar.
We're going solar. We have taken the plunge, but
started the process.
But we wanted to go over exactly our experience. So this is actually going to kind of be like a series, if you will, a bunch of different episodes that document our process, what it's been like, how it's been, and we're just going to go from there and kind of bring you guys along for the ride. We're going to start this video off by talking about the 3 companies we got quotes from and see if you guys can guess which one is which. Right now we're going to refer to them as company A, B, and C, kind of go in the order that we received quotes.
I guess we kind of got started on this process about 2 years ago when we had done some enhancements to the garage, and we were getting ready to add the electrical for the planning for the electric cars.
Yep.
And so we
started before we even got electric cars.
We've been looking at it, but we heard commercials on the radio, so we decided, oh yeah, let's go solar. And so we called the company. They sent somebody out to the house. She had plans for a small system. It was really small. It was only like 4 kilowatts. The plan that she came up with was only 4 kilowatts, and at the time our electric bill was really small because we didn't have any electric cars. And there's a limit on how much solar, I don't know if you know this, but at least in Colorado and other states, there's a limit on how much solar you can actually install. You can't just put in as much as you want. And basically they asked to know how much our average usage was every month for the past year. We gave her that information. She came out saying a 4 kilowatt system would be enough, and we saw it and it was like, oh, okay. But at the time, again, our bill was relatively small. I think we were paying like $40–50 a month for electricity, and the plans she gave us were, okay, here you get solar, and she couldn't tell us like how many kilowatt hours that would produce per year, and we had some technical questions.
How many panels, or
yeah, she didn't really have any details, and we weren't really that impressed. She was more concerned, I think, in just getting us to sign the paper. She's like, you know, telling us it's solar, and she just kept saying it's solar.
Yeah.
But we were like, she couldn't answer any of our technical questions. The only thing she could tell us is that we'd have like a 4 kilowatt system, and it would cost about $150 a month. And we're like, right now we're paying $40–50. Why would we want to pay $150, and it's still not going to even cover all of our usage, because we knew that it was going to increase once we got electric cars. So we kind of just let that drop for a while. We waited until we got the Teslas, and now we decided to start the process up again. So that was a couple years ago.
Company A.
And so then we called another company,
AKA Company B.
Company B. And they first, you know, asked us the same questions, what our monthly usage was, and we gave them those stats. We said we only had like 1 car. I think we only had 1 Tesla that was actively charging on those bills. So the bill was definitely higher. I think by then, I think we were probably averaging 1,200 to 1,500 kilowatts. So a lot bigger than the 300 or 400 kilowatts we used to have a couple years ago. And there was other usage besides just a car, but definitely needed a bigger system. And they first came out and they recommended an 11 kilowatt system, and we're like, okay, that's good, that's a lot better than the 4 kilowatt system. But we were telling them we're gonna need more. And when we saw the picture, they had taken an old like whatever program they used had a satellite photo of our house, and it didn't have the garage edition, so they only had panels on one part of the garage. And we're like, hey, you know, our garage has like doubled in size, you can put more panels over here. And we also indicated that, hey, there's a tree that we're having problems with, it's, you know, dying off, and we're going to be cutting that down, so we can put panels on this part of the house as well. They came back with another plan that instead of 11 kilowatts, it was now like 14 kilowatts. We're like, okay, we're getting closer, this is getting better. It would be able to cover a lot of our usage, but not 100% still. And so we looked at the plans they showed us, and it was for 305 watt panels. And we're like, is that the biggest we can get? And she said, no, you can get 325 watt panels. And we're like, okay, yeah, we're interested in those. And also I noticed that on the roof of the house, they had a really large gap. And we were like, can we add 4 more panels over there? And the word didn't get to the designer that we were going to be removing that tree, and so they thought that that was going to be a shaded part of the roof, and that it wouldn't be good to put panels there. Once we told them that that tree was being removed, they said, oh yeah, you can add 4 more panels there. So now we're looking at about a 50 panel system. It's, depending on if they're 305 or 325 watts, it's about 15.75 kilowatts.
So definitely closer to where we want to be.
A lot bigger. And we're actually still talking with that company to see if maybe could add one more panel, because there's one spot on the west side where we might be able to add panel number 51. But that company though did the detailed, you know, presentation. It was cool because they did it over the internet and showed us.
It was much more convenient than having someone in front of you. To be honest, I prefer it that way.
So it was good. And she was able to answer all of our questions, and the questions that she wasn't able to answer, she took them down, and we spoke with her again a few days later. But also, as part of that solar process, we'd also talked about getting some power walls installed, and they told us, you know, how many we needed. I think they recommended 2, but we were using the calculator on Tesla's website, Tesla Energy, and they kind of said,
I guess now you know who company B is.
No, power walls come from Tesla Energy. So anyways, we were just looking at adding the power walls, and we were like, well, 2 is good. That would probably be all we need, but we do have some from the referral program, so let's go ahead and get 3 installed, and we should be able to almost live off grid if we have 3. So if the power goes out, we've got enough sunshine here in Colorado that 3 power walls should be able to keep us going indefinitely. So they put that as part of the solar process as well, and put those on the diagram. And they gave us the price, and the price they told us was, you know, for the entire install, give us a timeline, answered all of our questions, and we decided to get another quote too, just to compare to that second one. And so we contacted a third company, I guess company C.
Company
right?
C, yep.
They scheduled an in-person visit, sent somebody out. It was a nice guy. He came out to visit us.
Oh, he was a very nice man.
Had his like laptop so he could give us a presentation. So this guy, he was able to answer our technical questions, and he was able to crunch numbers and change things on the spot, since he did have his laptop with him. Yeah. Whereas with that first person, company A, she just had like a couple of printouts on paper and couldn't run numbers or see how much, you know, adding new panels would run. He has a presentation too, which was interesting because his presentation kind of badmouthed the competition. And
I didn't care for that at all.
Yeah, it's just like you
let your products sell themselves.
Yeah, you shouldn't badmouth your competition. You just say what's good about your product. And then they were talking about, you know, all kinds of other stuff, but we didn't need to know any of this stuff because it was kind of trying to sell people on solar who didn't know anything about solar. We already know about it. We just want to know how much it's going to cost. And so he was able to update the, you know, number of panels, but again, he showed up with a picture that was wrong of the old, you know, from years ago, didn't have the new garage on it. So we were like, hey, we got a new garage. So we sent him a picture right there while he was there. We sent him a picture. Here's the current satellite photo. He sent it, and within 10 minutes.
Oh, like 5 minutes, I think. It was so fast.
He sent it to his office. Within a few minutes, somebody had already written back and redesigned it of how many panels they could fit on the roof. And that was pretty impressive that they had somebody working.
Turnaround time, amazing.
That quickly. That was the impressive part.
Then it started to go kind of downhill.
Well, the not so impressive part was when you saw the design of the panels on the roof.
Hideous.
It was.
We'll put it up.
Yeah, take a look at this. But they had some panels going horizontally, some going vertically, some of them just randomly spaced on the back.
A single one all by itself.
All by itself.
It didn't look very appeasing at all.
Yeah,
it looked awful.
Compared to company B, where it was nice and symmetric, it looked really ugly.
Yeah,
and it's just like, I know you're not supposed to be totally concerned about that, but more of the performance. But I've seen some houses. We'll have to show some pictures of stuff we've seen around town or stuff we've seen on the internet. But which would you rather choose? You know, something that looks like this or something that looks like this for your house?
Also, is that they had a lot more panels on the house, because even then they couldn't even hit the 16 kilowatts that we were wanting, because their panels are only 285 watts.
Yeah, so he was starting out with these lower efficiency 285 watt panels, and we were saying, well, what about these other ones? And he said they could go up to 330 watts. And so that's when they redesigned it. They sent us another picture. We'll show you what that looks like.
A little better.
So anyways, he was able to crunch some numbers and tell us how much it would cost for all these. But one thing that we didn't like about this third company is he kept telling us what we wanted instead of asking us what we wanted.
Yeah.
And he was, you know, we were more interested in like probably the purchase option.
Yeah.
And he kept trying to sell us on like these monthly plans where you could, one of them, you know, they did have like 4 different plans. One of them was you could prepay at a fixed rate per kilowatt of electricity for the next 20 years, and basically all the electricity you get from them, you're paying a certain fee per kilowatt. Another plan was
pay less now and then it just increases gradually,
like by a certain percentage, like 5% a year or
something like that
per kilowatt. And so it's supposed to stay below what you would pay if you were still connected to the electric company or still getting all your electricity from the electric company, but it was cheaper within a couple of years, and then from then on. Another plan they had was a prepaid lease where you could
20 years
pay, yeah, 20 years, but you pay it all at once now.
Right.
But the problem with that is that in 20 years, you still don't own the panels.
Exactly.
So then you have to buy them. And it was only a few thousand less than if you just paid cash for the panels now. And he couldn't tell us what the price would be in 20 years. And
it's totally going to be more than a couple $1,000 delta. So it didn't make any sense to go that route.
Yeah. So again, we were interested more in the purchase option and getting the full tax credits now. And he was kind of just trying to steer us away from that, telling us that that option didn't include maintenance or
anything,
or any guarantee of how much the production would be.
Yeah, it basically, he said if you buy it outright, there's no guarantees whatsoever.
But all of the promotional material that he had on his laptop showed that it was included. So I think that he probably was getting a commission,
maybe,
based on lease versus sale, and he was trying to steer us more towards that. I don't know why anybody would buy it if it didn't have any sort of guarantee or any sort of maintenance included. Anyways, that was the third company. Again, really nice guy, but tried to sell us on stuff. We just wanted to know the price, and we wanted it a certain way, a certain efficiency, certain layout, and they didn't seem like they were the company that would be able to handle that. Another thing too, they were actually more expensive than Company B. And we were surprised.
Shocked.
Because I've seen some other discussion of other companies online, and a lot of people were saying that Company C was way cheaper than Company B. So we decided we're gonna stick with Company B.
Do you know what Company B is?
We'll give you guys.
Put it down in the comment section. Should be pretty obvious.
This company builds the Powerwall battery, which allows you to power your house.
And the answer is?
What is Tesla Energy?
So we are going with Tesla for the solar panels. So we're gonna be a complete Tesla household. We're gonna have the solar, the Powerwall, the energy storage, we're gonna have the cars. We're gonna be completely dived into Tesla.
Yes. Company B, Tesla Energy, answered all our questions, and they had I think the best product, and it looked the nicest, and it was just as efficient as slightly less, 325 watts per panel instead of 330.
But for the price, the design, everything, and now it'll be a complete system. So we'll be able to control everything from our phone apps.
Yes.
So the Tesla app will be able to control everything from the batteries to the solar to the car. So we have not signed the contract just yet, still waiting on word on a few other aspects of our design. As soon as we do though, we'll be bringing you guys along through the entire process. We did already have one site survey, but they're gonna come out and do another since we did remove that one tree. We'll be going over all that. We'll be vlogging it all. Just keep an eye out for our solar series. I'll also make its own playlist. But yeah, this is gonna be like our solar and Powerwall journey. It's gonna be a couple month-long process. It's not something that they start doing next week. We have to get permits and everything. The Powerwalls are a little bit delayed right now.
Yeah.
So it looks like the solar will be installed first and then the Powerwalls soon after. We're gonna be upgrading the garage electricity so that we can have 3 high power wall connectors in there, since there's now 3 Teslas in the garage. It should be a great experience, and I'm really happy that Tesla actually came out on top, because now we can document a full Tesla household.
Yeah.
Definitely subscribe if you have not, and that way you can be notified when we have new videos coming out, especially if this is something that interests you. I just want to thank Wonder Capital for sponsoring this video. They're the easiest way to invest in large-scale solar energy projects across the US. Experts at Bloomingdale estimate that $2.8 trillion will be invested in solar energy by 2040. And with Wonder Capital's solar investment platform, individuals can now take advantage of this economic opportunity. In fact, individuals just like you have already financed more than 175 large-scale solar projects, and these solar energy projects have created enough electricity to power the equivalent of 5,000 homes, which is helping offset almost 75 million pounds of carbon dioxide emissions each year, which is massive. And you can go ahead and visit Wonder Capital at the link below, and also you can find out how to begin investing in solar energy projects and while earning up to 7.5% annually, and also helping fight against climate change. Again, that's wondercapital.com/Eric. And I'll go ahead and put the link down below. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that video and are excited to go through the solar process with us. And as always, if you are looking for a Tesla, definitely check out our website, teslainventory.com. And if you're buying either a new or inventory Model S or X, feel free to use our referral code. It's down in the description below or at the top of our website. Doing so will actually get you free and unlimited supercharging and help us get qualified for certain referral prizes, which is how we get to all these cool events and bring you guys along through like the live streams and such. But definitely reach out to me via the new form on our website. It's actually super easy to use. It just asks for a few things, and that way we can have your contact information, so when we take delivery of our next gen Roadster, we can invite you guys out, do some test rides, test drives, experience the whole delivery with us, because really without your support, none of this would be possible, so I really can't thank you guys enough. But as always, definitely hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed it. Go ahead and click here to subscribe, here for some other videos, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.